I'm just going to record the event, as I said. And I'm just going to start the event because people come and go. As you see, I know some people can't make it till the first half. They're going to ask me to put them in the second because, they're in Asia. So, just make it it's just hard for them and all that. So I'll begin again, and thank you all for coming to another Planet Poetry 28. I'm trying to figure out a way of making this into a magazine sort of thing, a podcast magazine that comes every month with 20 poets that I'm finding from all over the world and reading for like little segments, just like you would get poetry magazine. And when I put it on YouTube, I'll have a table of contents with the time you read. So, like that. And who knows how many years from now it would become like poetry magazine online. So but we're all having fun doing it, and it's great to be a part of it. And I'm really enjoying it. Started just as an idea of enjoying the share screen on Zoom, for all the advantages that Zoom has. A lot of readers are just reading like this, and I just lost it. So they put the poem on the page. I figured I had a chance, and this whole thing developed. And now I do it all the time, and it seems to be spreading around. I think it's good for poetry, and all that. So thanks for coming. So I'll begin as I break the ice, and then you all have the list. I'll introduce you, and say a few words, and then of course do the share and afterwards we'll comment and all that, and put your all of the different ways we can reach you in the chat, and look forward to that. I'm Mark, poet with the guitar. I'm not going to play tonight, but you'll hear some good guitar playing, I think, tonight as well. And I'm doing this, as I said, this magazine. It's just part of the general group I'm with, the Poetry Global Network. And we're just we're opening up different workshops and events and different styles and all different types of things. And I'll post where you can reach us. We have all kinds of interesting things happening. Workshops. Quasar is here tonight. He's doing one on mystical poetry and enlightenment in a couple of weeks, which we'll be advertising. And like that. And the next is on Rumi, and then other people that do rap poetry. It's a whole thing. Really very enjoyable. So do join us. So I'll begin with my set. When this year I was fortunate to publish, letting someone in, publish this book, which is called Reflections in the Time of Trumpius Maximus. And I really thought I was finished with it. I hadn't written a poem like that, but I finally got back to, writing poems about autumn and all the rest. And this month it just hit me again. So here we go. January Moods, 2022. We're ill-equipped to sleep through winter, awaken to the emoji face of spring, or go south like songbirds to a summer retreat. Wouldn't that prove a reasonable solution? I act happy, but am I happy? The gut reacts to dreaded years to come. The pandemics of history pile up daily. How did we fuck up so royally? The modern humanity addicted to snake tails, the complexity of everything depending on everything to agree to anything. We can't decide if we want to go forward or backwards. The fat smile of Trumpius Maximus still makes the morning news. Mutations of delusions, watch on the Potomac. Serums of untruth, suicides up, NASDAQ down, crime rate steady, democracy, conspiracy, homeless town, climate this, climate that, vaccination, homicide, banana Republicans, bleeding liver Dems, Omicron, disco, ice tornado, insurrection, infection, voting restriction, Bitcoin, steroid, inflation, climate change, Putin, Rasputin, Google, overdose, Zoom, fatigue, toothache, loathsome, snowy days. Pass pleasantly. Outside, the blizzards make a cinematic screen. The white above, the white below. How I miss hugging, smelling markets, the crowded bars where we spoke exotic poetry. How I miss dance halls. How I miss so many things. I look upon myself with disdain. I look upon my neighbors in despair. Where's the fellowship that once was before the masks we wear became medieval helmets, heavy and locked? Don't tell me who you are, where you're from, and you don't have to know all I've seen, but I have followed the migration of animals and birds, and I know the earth is a sweet place for everything, but you and me, we would destroy it unwillingly, just like we destroy each other when there is no harmony. Hope on the wane without a savior, without the savoir-faire, out of view, the airwaves fill with drums of civil war, homes arm themselves like fortresses, and genocide is a matter of debate. Tribe versus tribe, neighbor versus neighbor, mobs of terrified herds that leap when the lions start their charge. Sacred rules of law do not apply. The underclass rises to adore their masters who peddle smirks and rob them blind. Common sense is quite uncommon, and goodness divorced from charity. So it's best to stay away, stay indoors, in retreat, not tell the world which team you're rooting for. Don't look it in the eye. In the year 2022, town criers and pestilence abound, the population suffer through. History records an avalanche of hope which rots like a corpse in the ground. We know all about these empires which repeat like phases of the moon. Fate decides whose pockets fill with jewels, who flies first class, who travels by bus, who lives in style, who dies with blue. Seems since we abandoned caves, there are laws we animals still obey in the much ado of daily cliche. And after all the declarations of change, America remains the same, boring same. Folks are dying around me, gasping for breath. They looked the other way when the doctor came and put their trust in the whims of Jesus. Or the spit from rants on the radio and complaints of bullshit and buffoonery from that the Bolsheviks are risen from the grave. They blame the Jews, who take the soul right from their shoes, the Asians and their flu, the famished immigrants, and who would speak their truth alone are worthy of the stunned truth from flags waving above their tombs. Winter brings a cold never known. Wind bites with 1,000 teeth, the ice and ice governs the quarter moon. The homeland is split like a rib cage to make room for a transplant heart that runs on politics and diesel fuel. War games are played out, and we don't have a Socrates to scold us about mere morality. Oh, patria mia, Trumpius unbound. January wears a mask of fate as we sleep in a tundra of doubt. Thank you. And thank you all. Put comments in the chat and all, and hope you enjoyed that. Our first reader is Kizzy. I think I'm among one of the more elder readers here today, and I think Kizzy is the youngest reader we have here today. I think her bio said you were 17 years old. I don't know much else about you other than I've heard enthusiastic, wonderful things about your poetry. So why don't you share some with us?
Okay, I'll share my screen. It says I can't share my screen. It says,
Oh, please, that's the idea. You must.
Hey, no, it says,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It says host disabled participant.
Okay, yeah, I enabled you now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm 17. I'm from Yorkshire in the UK. My name's Kizzy Wade. And I mainly do political satire stuff. This might be a bit UK centric. I hope not. Hey. Oh yes, sir. I'm aware I'm not your usual town crier, and I'm aware I don't have a bell. Quite frankly, I wasn't going to put more money in Jeff Bezos' pocket for this. But it felt like the easiest way to dispel some myths. You see, I'm a member of a number of minorities, which means the media said I'm supposed to be shouting about a number of agendas. Funny word, that isn't it? Agenda. I decided to look it up in the dictionary. It's a list of items discussed at a formal meeting. That means, according to Oxford Languages, Piers Morgan thinks we all have a monthly minority meeting. Bold of him to assume any of us can get a seat at the table. Can you imagine the whole LGBTQ community, all of us, sat there with rainbow firefoxes, or J.K. Rowling passing transphobic notes to fellow feminists, claiming to be backed by science when caught? And anyway, what would they all say? Minority groups don't agree on much. What words would we reclaim? Would we accept allied assistance? Who would lead us? Even in the disability world, we argue about whether movements such as cripple punk are correct. But in all seriousness, doesn't everyone have an agenda? At least in the sense of the colloquial definition, which I suppose is a list of selfish aims. We all have things that we want people to think. For example, in this poem, my agenda is to make you think I don't have an agenda. But that's just inside this poem. Our agendas change in every conversation, meeting, and every tweet. So I guess what I'm saying is agendas aren't always political and aren't always negative. They can be as innocuous as cheerleading a certain option at the cinema. But the question is, do your everyday agendas include recruiting children, taking over telly, or converting people into your copies? No. So why would you assume that of minority people? Now back to your normal news by the Sun, which definitely does have an agenda. Thanks for having me. It's great to be in a new event.
Kizzy, that was my agenda, is to make you feel like I don't have an agenda. That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us and for being a part of us. Very much so. There you go. Well, going to move on to Greece now, to Alexandra. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Psaropoulou.
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 Yes.
Alexandra has been seen around Zoom lately with her husband, a wonderful guitarist, and they've been doing this wonderful multimedia thing. Alexandra was born in the year of the horse and fire in Greece, where she spent many years living in the wild mountains in the island of Hydra. She attended St. Mary's in Wiltshire and studied European thought literature in Cambridge. She lived in Paris, New York, Greece. She settled with her Greece now. Her father, a renowned poet and author, had a successful publishing company in Greece. Her mother, a ballet dancer, as well as president of the Dance Union of Greece. She lives with her husband, a guitarist, and 4 children near the Temple of Poseidon in Suino by the sea, and publishes her own work on which she'll tell you about in the chat. It's my pleasure to welcome in to introduce you, Alexandra. And I think you are still on mute, yeah.
Yes. My visions are my torture. My visions are my comfort. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are not tired of sowing in the field of dreams. For the journey is bittersweet, half hurt, half tenderness. Like thorny milk thistle, like sweet smelling jasmine. Accepting variety and different behaviors. Going beyond wrongdoings and right doings. Into new and more thriving harvests. My visions are my scrambling ascent. My visions are my sacred conquest. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts can admire the phosphorescent hopes of the sunset. For the journey is rugged, half uphill, half downhill. Like bare time in the winter cold, like bees gathering nectar from spring blossoms, evoking the rain's lament and the sun's caress. Going beyond unpleasant reactions onto new and even higher peaks. My visions are my futile mirages. My visions are my sweetest oases. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are refreshing fountains of muses' songs. For the journey is uncharted, half tempest, half tranquility. Like a wavy, turbulent sea on a windy day, like crystal, serene waters under the shimmering sun. Sailing over low and high tides, going beyond traumatic and fond memories, into new and longed for harbors. My visions are my lightning duty. My visions are my radiant basking. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts shine brightly through storms. For the journey is evolving, half empirical, half innate, seeing what I encounter, seeing what I know, painting the world in dark and iridescent hues, going beyond detrimental and beneficial beliefs into new and more exquisite rainbows. Our visions are our unmanifested ashes. Our visions are our golden wings. Golden visions, golden flying.
Hmm. Wow. That was a buzz and a half. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. That very wonderful thing. And hi, hello, hello, guitarist there. Let's say hello. Wave to the crowd.
Hello to everybody. Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you. And I think of course, I saw that, so I immediately wanted to invite Alexandra to share with my community here. I was so happy that you that you performed that. Thank you very much for staying up this late at night, and stay. It looks like you're very chill. Stay warm. How as much is very cold for you? It's a little different for me here.
We're having some crazy weather in Greece. It was snowing for a week, really a lot. For Athens, outside Athens, it was a lot of snow. We were snowed in for a week.
Wow.
Very unusual, very unusual.
And now it's all sunny again, so it's just crazy.
We go swimming now.
Well, not
Thank
swimming.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Well, our next reader, Leslie, I have a new bio from her, an updated bio of Leslie, who I see from time to time various open mics, beautiful work. She's a poet, a painter, a modern dancer. Her passion is arts emerged from her early long influences in the beat poets. Professionally, she's made a living as an arts worker, art journalist, critic, curator, University of Studio Arts instructor. As a poet, she has an open door policy. She embraces Jungian theories and pays close attention when the muse comes to call. That's great. Often her poems are unfiltered first drafts. Well, we'll see what you give us tonight. Like, where are you tonight, Leslie?
I'm in the UK. I'm sitting in Torquay.
Okay.
In Devon.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to be sharing the screen, a little bit awkward with technology. So, what do I do?
If it's first time, you might, I'll lead you through it, but if you can't get it first time, just email it to me. I'll put it on screen for you.
All right, lovely.
If you have it, if you have it on,
share screen, right?
it should be on your, it should be one of the things that you see that's there on your desk.
All right.
On your desktop, one of the things that was there. The poem that you want to read. If you don't see it immediately, I'm going to move on, and then I'll just take your time.
I think this is it. I hope it is.
And then you will press share screen next to it. It's,
I don't think it is. Hang on, just give me 1 second. I'll do it. Let me try it again.